I'm Susan Roden, an artist from Albuquerque, New Mexico. This is my second residency at the Desert Dairy Farm. Last year I had a focus on a pseudo obelisk, and it represented the environment and the flora and fauna of the desert. This time, this is a project on the female perspective on aging. There's going to be 3 components, but the basis is created on handmade dresses. These are the dresses, the preliminary start to the project, and it's going to be really pivoting around the dresses. There should be a creation of approximately 10 dresses. Each dress is going to address a different biological process or emotion. The first one that I created is this piece, which is representing infertility and barren. As so many women, it's physically draining once they start going through menopause, and many younger women who are unable to conceive. This is hand printed and painted, and there's a young baby at the bottom, and as it goes around, there are broken eggshells all around. There are 5 pockets on the dress, and each pocket will have something. The first pocket here, I had gotten sand from the Desert Dairy Farm, representing the sand of time passing. And there's also in the pockets a stained teddy bear, something that's lost and forgotten with time. This dress touches on mortality, how short our lives really are. There's our scenes that are hand printed and colored pencils on it going around of grave sites with skies and black ravens flying. There's a long trail. This I still need to complete to hand finish painting, where it'll be gray skies with more ravens. The dresses are all handmade from commercial patterns that I've altered, and I've selected them with regard to what the subject matter is that I'm addressing. This is on dementia. This has been stained with coffee grounds, and it signifies people going through dementia and Alzheimer's, which I've had a personal experience with a close friend that was afflicted with Alzheimer's and passed away. On here, it's going to be a little bit brighter on the top where dementia is starting to appear. And there's words on here that says such sayings as me, life. I've got on here family. And then the words, the letters start falling. And there'll be more down here as it goes down. There are open books that I'm transcribing and cutting paper from an old book on philosophy that I'm putting bits and pieces on. And it continues on the back. It does have along the top and in the insets and on front and back lettuce, which signifies word salad, which means people who are experiencing dementia and Alzheimer's, they think they're saying the words correctly when they're talking with you, and as their disease progresses, the words are jumbled up. None of it makes sense. My 4th piece I've been working on here, this is on puberty. I made the dress, kept it a pristine white, doves when the young teens are starting to go through the awakening of all their senses with their heart. Well, at the residency, I dug up out of the sand this red sisal that was buried for some time, and I thought it would emulate very well arteries. So I'm hand embroidering it around the doves as well as around the heart, leading it off as arteries. Coming down, it will continue around to the back as well. And then the dress will be finished up with dyeing, hand dyeing along the bottom So at the Desert Dairy Farm, I've been walking around on the grounds and I've been picking up rusted wire and rings and tin. These are going to be cut up and hand sewn onto the dress, which is going to be a tulle. And so it'll be very transparent. And there'll be behind it patches of fabric that I'm going to hand paint of the desert. This was my first sample that I did. Now I'm going to work, I've stretched some fabric and I'm going to do different panels. And they're going to be raw edges, but they'll be behind the netting and sewn along the base and in the bodice to give it structure as well as seeing desert scenes. These are pieces of wood that I've picked up walking around on the grounds. I have sanded them down, added paint, and I'm going to use these to become the hangers for the dresses. The third component of this are wall pieces. They're all going to be tandos, which means round circles, sort of as symbolizing the circle of life. They're going to be addressing the stereotypes and prejudices of aging. And this one here is on the beauty industry. It's titled "Beauty is Skin Deep." How Venus de Milo is supposed to epitomize the female form in beauty. And so there's roses and flowers around and gold leaf, but you see there are two needles representing Botox. That beauty is only skin deep, and most of females, when they get a certain age, they don't embrace the natural aging. I've also started to play with these, keeping in the round format. Then I'm going to do a series and form them into a circle, and it's going to represent loneliness. There's a stereotype that all people, once they age, they're very extremely lonely. And many are, but some lead fruitful lives and they aren't lonely. They're very active in society, giving back and doing different things. I am really known as a pastelist, and I paint very representational scenes. So I created this project. It's out of the wheelhouse of typically what I do. However, I hit a milestone in my age, and I've noticed hanging around with younger artists, the different attitude with older people and just the public in general. So I wanted to create this project. It will not be completed during my 3-week residency here at the Desert Dairy Farm. However, I found the grounds very inspirational just by the natural decaying and rusting of materials, cans and screws and nails across the desert, and how there's still greenery, things growing, even though the majority of the desert's kind of dead. So I wanted to create this and to have the undivided solo attention to this whole project. This will be culminated probably towards the latter part of the year, and will be on exhibit in Albuquerque. I feel it's a topic that's shunned, that just regardless males or females, we do not talk about aging or death in comparison to the Eastern society and civilizations. So I think it's something that needed to have a dialogue created. And as an artist, we're visual speakers, so I felt this was an apropos time.